Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we are looking at day 5 of David's Tea's 24 Trips with Tea 2023 edition. And well, for day 5, we're going back to a classic because we are looking at organic cream of Earl Grey. Now, I know I've reviewed this before on one of the 24 days of teas in the past, but I am welcomed to bring this back as a review for today because this is a black tea with 3 out of 3 dots of caffeine, and it is inspired by the flavors of London, England. See, the mission statement on this one is hop into the bandwagon or double decker of this world famous Earl. This creamy vanilla twist on a classic bears a bold resemblance to the beloved London fog. Now, Earl Grey tea is a classic English tea that was actually named after Charles Earl, who was a former British Prime Minister and the second Earl of Grey, if that makes sense for the name. Now, the Grey family, to my knowledge, are just a historical, noble family in British history. And what makes Earl Grey tea differently, traditionally, than regular black tea is the added flavor of bergamot oil. Now, I don't know if this is in here because I forgot the ingredients, but I'm excited to try this because there's a vanilla twist to it. So it's not going to, hopefully, have as bold of a black tea flavor, especially with the added bergamot, possibly orange peel, I want to think, because I've seen that in some Earl Greys in the past, and, well, the vanilla flavor. So that's going to take out your need to add a creamer to this. But let's look at the actual ingredients and see how close I was. So it's organic black tea, natural cream of Earl Grey flavoring, cornflowers, and organic marigolds. So bergamot was something I had seen when I had looked up Earl Grey tea in the past because it was the oil of bergamot that Charles Grey would put in his tea, which is kind of what made it different than your traditional black tea. Now, I don't know if that's thoughtfully included in the natural cream of Earl Grey flavoring, but there also isn't any orange peels, which I was kind of expecting, but you do have marigold and cornflowers, which is interesting. But on this cold winter night, Earl Grey tea seems like it's going to hit the spot. So let's take some sips of this. Let's see if my review is any different than it was previously, because I think I reviewed that 2 years ago when I had COVID, actually. So let's check this out. This really hits the spot. It's just such a warming flavor, and that's what I love about English style teas. See, when I first got into tea years ago, the tea I was in love with, granted it probably is kind of basic to a lot of you, was English breakfast tea. I could drink that religiously, like 4 or 5 times a day, and just love it. So after that, I moved to Earl Grey tea. Both of them were by Twinings of London. And this flavor just brings me back to that style of tea. It's bold, but David's tea has that silky black tea that I mentioned previously, and the vanilla creaminess of like the flavoring that's added to it dilutes the bitterness of the black tea, but it doesn't take away from that silky smooth flavor. The addition of the cornflowers and the marigold helps blend this together in a way where, honestly, it's perfect at any time of the day. Maybe that's just my taste buds, but I love English teas. You know, it's one of the reasons I've wanted to go to England for so long, is to actually have like tea in one of their authentic tea shops instead of always buying like an imported brand or something like that. I feel like it's just all a part of the atmosphere, and I would love to be sitting in downtown London sipping like a nice hot glass of tea or mug of tea in the wintertime with snow falling. I just think it's a very atmospheric experience in my head that one day I'm gonna bring together. You know, I've been fascinated with England, or visiting England, ever since I was a kid, because as an American, you know, our history comes from English history. A lot of what we learn is based on English history because, let's face it, there is no America without England, right? In essence, of how we know it in American history, because of, you know, the settlers, the pilgrims, and all that coming over, the American Revolution, you know, dumping the tea in the harbor, you know, everything with like Boston. Like, yeah, I know there were other settlers here. I know the Native Americans were here before the English settlers, but you know, America, as we know it, getting its independence was the war with England, who was trying to continue to rule over the nation. But going back to the tea, we don't need to make this a history class because I'll probably say something wrong and look like an idiot in terms of getting historical facts correct. This Earl Grey tea, let's just be honest, it hits the spot. If you're a fan of black teas, traditional English black teas, this, you can't go wrong with this, guys. Those are my thoughts on cream of Earl Grey. A very simple formula, hits the spot on a cold winter night or probably a winter morning and a winter afternoon. Just this one just goes down smooth, and my taste buds are just happy right now. If you had day 5 today, what do you think of organic cream of Earl Grey? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I get it, it's not one of the more exciting teas, but it's damn delicious, guys. I will catch you tomorrow.